Yo, 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 what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Life with G podcast. It's Taco Tuesday, and it's also live day for Life with G podcast. Those who are coming in, welcome, welcome. Be sure to tap into the live chat with us so your comments can be highlighted. And make sure to like, share, comment, share, subscribe, all the things. Share, share, share. That's really important. We still have that goal of 250 subscribers at the end of the day. And welcome. We are missing a couple people, but that's okay because the show must go on. It's your girl G, the Puerto Rican podcast princess, your favorite baby mama in the building. And we just have JR tonight, but I'm so happy to have him here. So JR,
Wait, did you
get the
say you
intro.
just have JR?
Yeah, I did.
Just have JR?
I did. But it's not a bad
What?
thing.
Wait. No, you can't just have JR as if I'm not
I'm
good enough.
excited. No, it's just that there's typically four people on. So the fact that you're on here just with me, like it's just me and you.
You
That's all
really
I was
try to make
saying.
it seem like it was it's just me and you. Uh
Now, I've been waiting. Think I wanna make that move. You like that
no,
song?
I demand a new introduction into
Oh my
me.
God. And then we got JR in the building, the best producer of podcast history. JR, run the intro. Better?
It's happening.
What it do, people? It's your boy JR, the People's Champ. All I want to tell everybody is love, peace, tranquility. I love you all. Have a blessed day.
Wow. It's nighttime. It's 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Have
You've
a
already had the
blessed
day.
night.
Peace up. A-Town down. I'm excited for tonight's topic though. Normally we don't get to talk about the topics like as soon as they're trending. And even though technically this is old information, for some reason the blogs are taking it and they are running with it. And that is Tory Lanez driver released his witness statement or a whole affidavit of his points of his witness to that whole Meg the Stallion, Tory Lanez, and I think what was her homegirl's name? Kelsey? Do you know a lot
Kelsey.
about that?
I followed a little bit. I don't know what was true or what was fake.
Right.
This might be fake news or whatever, but what I heard was that pretty much Kelsey said Tory pulled the trigger and shot her. Megan said Tory pulled the trigger and shot her, but Tory said he didn't shoot her, and then that's pretty much it, you know. But even though they try to question Kelsey on stand, she just pled the fifth the entire time, and somehow they still got a guilty verdict, which I don't understand that part. That part doesn't, I don't
So
understand that.
there was, and I think it was like a matter of circumstance because I did do a deep dive off of this because at first glance, for those of you who have seen the viral posts of his affidavit and the kid's name, it well, not kid, he is a man. I don't know why I say kid. But it is Jaquan Smith, I believe is his name.
Jaquan
So
Smith
he
is
was
the
the
driver.
driver. Yes, he was the driver that night that the incident occurred. And apparently, according to other blogs, he's not giving new information. When I woke up this morning and I was scrolling through TikTok, like most of us do, it was like, oh, he just testified who shot Meg. But when you look at it, he's actually saying he never saw, but he was just giving further details on what occurred as far as like pre-shooting, like the altercation itself, that there was a tussle over the gun between Kelsey and Tory Lanez, that there was multiple times where Meg got out of the car and they tried to bring her back in, and it all got exasperated because Tory came out and said, hey, Kelsey, I'm fucking with Meg. And so that was the whole thing that really started it. But apparently it's not new information. This is information that they already technically had, but he is trying to do an appeal. So they're not sure how this statement is going to affect that, if it's going to be admissible in court, if they're going to bring him in to do an official testimony or not. So everything's still up in the air. I think a lot of people saw this and thought, okay, that means Tory's going to be free, but no, there's still no conclusion. And the other evidence was like text messages. Apparently, Tory Lanez from like a verified page had commented back on other posts saying, no, Kelsey didn't shoot her. And there was a phone call. So the way he talked, he didn't really cover his ass that much. So I'm not sure how much this is going to help him, but the blogs have taken it and they've ran with it. Did you see the actual like full affidavit from the driver?
Yeah, I did, but I mean, it's just this case was so iffy to me. I don't understand the case too much.
Yeah.
Like I can understand it from a point of view of a rapper street cred. You can't snitch. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I can understand it from another perspective where it's like maybe he was dating Kelsey, which is what the rumors was, and he wanted to protect her. Then I can understand it from a different perspective of
That's true.
like because of all that. I don't know. It's just without a reasonable doubt. If I don't understand how they can find him guilty without a reasonable doubt. That to me is crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. I mean, but he definitely kept saying that it wasn't Kelsey. Like he kept protecting her. So by and large, you are
The only
incriminating
one.
yourself in that situation, right? Because if it was you two tussling over the gun and you're saying it wasn't her, whether you're doing it to protect her or not, then that means it's going to be you. And you can't be mad that the court is going to lean towards that if you yourself are exonerating the other person that could be potentially guilty. It's a mess. I know he got sentenced to 10 years in prison because of it. Um, I don't know, but I know that it all kind of feeds into the topic that was a suggestion, which is spinning back or like going back to an ex situations that are crazy. Should you go back to an ex? Should you forgive an ex or not? Like I know people wanted to talk about that. He just released his prison tapes songs, so those are really good. If you like Tory Lanez, I know some people don't support his music anymore. I still choose to support his music.
His music is
He's
fire.
a great artist. His music is amazing, so I don't want to knock his catalog at all. But he did release those, and the song that's going pretty viral right now is "Wish I Never Met You." And there's a lot of people that are saying that that song is probably more than likely about Meg. So it all kind of feeds into that topic of like relationships that you regret. Would you go back to your ex? And it's shit, with something like that, let me ask you, JR, and I'm for anybody who's in here watching in the comments if you want to tap in, if you were ever in a situation like that to where an argument between you and your female got so out of control that one, if not both of you ended up doing jail time behind it, could you ever see yourself forgiving that person or getting back with them?
It depends. It depends.
Yeah?
It does depend
Give me a
because
scenario where you would be like, okay, yeah, I would go back to them.
when the combination or the connection of the two is when there's outside like outliners that are more important than just the connection, right? So like kids, I can understand to a certain degree you want to put them into consideration.
Mm.
Other than that, possibly investments, you know what I'm saying? Like let's say y'all are invested in certain properties and stuff where both your names on it, then I can understand that to a certain degree that you need to put
Yeah.
those into consideration. But if you're no kids and y'all are just dating or you know what I'm saying, hell no. Hell no. There's nothing.
Not something like that.
Nothing
Yeah,
whatsoever.
no.
Nothing.
It's
It would never be
it's
between the
very
two
tricky.
people. It would never be between the two people if you have to go back.
So if there was no outlying factors, you definitely would not
No.
spin back. You would not spin again.
No. No. Not unless the
Mm.
outline
I mean,
factors
that's
have to matter.
understandable.
Other than that, that jail? Jail?
Jail. Prison time.
You tripping,
Prison
bro.
time.
You tripping. My girl should never even put me in that kind of position. Ever. She
I was
should
gonna
never
say
put
because
me.
exactly, because I know that there's, and I don't know too much about these circumstances. So, correct me if I'm wrong, Jr. If you know, if anybody in the comments, but isn't it like to a certain extent? If I call the cops or the cops get called, like say it's a domestic situation, and I choose to not press charges, like the state could still turn around and choose to press charges regardless, just because of whatever the offense was.
Yeah,
So
they
like
can.
once it gets to that point, sometimes your shorty could be like, no, 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 I don't want him to go to jail or I don't want her to go to jail. And it's gonna happen anyways. In a case like that, still the same response.
Hell no. See, I know a couple of homies that be like, actually, I know a lot of homies that got hit with like domestic violence situations, and I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
they didn't do it, you know what I'm saying? But it'd be crazy how many be getting hit with
Mm.
these. Anywho, and I'm not a believe all women type of situation. I do like to see the facts and like to see the truth, and I like to, you know what I'm saying, come to my own conclusion mentally and see if that actually kind of if it relates to the situation. Anywho, I got a lot of them that do it, and they, you know what I'm saying, the girl be like, oh, I'm calling the cops. And then they call the cops, you know what I'm saying? and they lie and say, or they say they got hit, or you know what I'm saying, he abused her. And then after he get drug away, they want to come like, nah, never mind, I'm not pressing charges. But the state already got you.
Mm,
The state
yeah.
got you. The state pressing charges. They got nothing to do with you now. You feel me?
Yep.
And now, depending on who you are, they might drop the charges. But all him missing the work, him having that on his record at the time, all of that stuff affects him going forward. And it's crazy. That's crazy. Like you low key just put him into the system, and you all because of a situation. You know what I'm saying? That I don't know how the situation went. Because don't get me wrong, if a man is abusing you and hitting you, I do believe that you need to go ahead and get that fixed out. But don't then regret it after he got to get his ass out and you trying to figure out how you gonna pay the bill. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to regret it. Then make that choice. Make that choice. You know what I'm saying? Live on that. That's a safety risk. You know what I'm saying? If that's just me though. That's just me. I don't know. Other people might think differently, but nah, that shit's crazy. Can't do it.
And I think a lot of times, which I'm saying this for the more so like the random one-off situations. It's not to minimize any valid domestic violence situations, but a lot of times things just get out of control. My opinion, arguments I've been in, situations I've seen my other homegirls in and things like that, women have a habit of escalating the situation even more by either not allowing the man to leave. I've been guilty of that. I will take full ownership.
You said it,
Or,
not me.
just running. Yeah, no, for real. Or just like running their mouth too much where it's like, okay, now you're instigating the situation, you're making it worse. To kind of double back to that Tory Lanez, Meg the Stallion situation, a lot of people say, and regardless of who shot the gun or not, clearly it was an accident because it wasn't like a direct shot. They already had the statement of them tussling over the gun and whatnot. But people actually blame Meg for escalating the situation and say that she's responsible for the entire thing. So in a situation like that, would you agree? Because I'm not gonna lie, as a woman, I I can see that. I can see that. Not to minimize what she went through, but I can definitely see that perspective.
Look, I'm a conspiracy theorist kind of guy, right? Only if it makes
Hmm.
sense, right? And for Tory Lanez to just get his masters, right? He gets his freedom. For something like this to happen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think that's a coincidence, because when a lot of times when
Mm.
artists get their masters, stuff like this happens. And I don't think that's a coincidence that it always happens. So no, I don't like Meg the Stallion. I do not listen to her music. I do not support Meg the Stallion. But she did get shot. So I have a
Yeah.
type of sympathy for her for getting that shot. I have that, not sympathy, but empathy for her for getting shot. That's not a good thing. I don't
Hmm.
think that she should have got shot. I don't think she, like, anybody should add trauma into your life. But like I'm not, like, if she's upset, she's upset. You don't think you're gonna get upset and then get shot about it. You know what I'm saying? But I do warn women about that.
True.
You don't know what's going to happen with the emotional man. If it plays out the way they said it plays out, and he's emotional, drunk, and upset, and he told her to dance, then I'm not surprised that happens, because you can't
Forgot about
control
that.
other people. You just can't control them.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like if you're
No,
in that
that's
situation, how are you going to handle it, G? If you're in a situation, you're in a car, you just found out that the guy you just was intimate with is actually in a relationship secretly with your friend. Are you going to confront
mm.
him in the car with alcohol? Well, you already got alcohol, but are you going to confront him in the car right then and there with your friend and him in the car when you find out? Are you going to confront him?
I would love to say no because I feel like rationally, time and place, and that's not the time and place. But I think anybody in that situation, I give grace to. I feel like I would pop off. I feel like I couldn't help but pop off because at least from the statement and even from his driver's affidavit that was released, he mentions the fact that the homegirl who had been in this relationship with Tory that Meg knew about, Tory knew about, everybody doing shit behind her back. And then there was a Kylie Jenner thing. Either way, all
Mm.
of this stuff, can you imagine you chilling, you having a good night, you think you're with your sneaky link or whatever, and your best friend, and then all of a sudden, your best friend is going off on the dude that you fucking. Who wouldn't be like, what the fuck? And in the affidavit, she kept saying, like, what's going on? She's confused. She doesn't know whose side to be on. And then to come to find out, not only is your best friend backstabbing you, but so is your sneaky link. Now there's another party involved, which was Kylie Jenner, but we won't even get into that. And then she's tweaking out, knowing she was doing wrong. Your best friend is tweaking out so hard that she's stopping the vehicle, making a whole scene. I would feel like, bitch, I have a reason to be upset. And I could see the crazy kind of come into play of like, oh, you want something to cry about? I'm finna give you something to cry about. You
But
get what I'm saying?
in my
I could
head,
see that.
why now? I've never seen the female catch the man cheating and go at the man first. You know what I'm saying? I've never
Like,
seen it happen that way. And if she went at the woman, even her friend, because that's a bigger betrayal than him. He a
that's what I'm
nigga.
saying. Yeah.
So to go at the friend, to me, it just makes me believe even more that the friend and her are having this altercation. Tory is winning. He smashed both. What the fuck is he doing saying dance? That doesn't even, to me, I can't even see myself in a situation where I smash both friends. They're upset
Being
with each
like,
other.
dance,
And
bitch.
I'm telling one of them
Yeah.
to dance. Even now there's a
Yeah.
tussle. And then after the tussle, I'm telling her to dance. She just caught me up. And she's mad at both of us, specifically her friend. And you tell me to dance? I mean, I tell you to dance.
Yeah.
I just, again, without a
It
reasonable
doesn't add
doubt, is
up to me
crazy to
either.
me. It's crazy
Yeah,
to
yeah,
me.
yeah. It doesn't. I think the thing that makes the most sense, obviously, she was seeing red. She grabbed the gun, even if it was just to threaten her. I don't think she ever meant to actually like shoot at anybody. But then in the tussle, is what it is. And I think because Tory knows he was doing wrong, and he's
Oh,
like, "Damn, this really isn't her fault. I'm gonna take responsibility for it, or at least I'm gonna do everything I can to not throw her under the bus because
mm-hmm.
he was the main factor into it." And I think that that's really what happened. Either way, I think it's crazy that they offered her. Wasn't it just like a, I don't know the terminology, but she's now gotten to the point where she can't be tried about it, even if they reopen his trial, right? Doesn't she have
Which
like
one?
immunity or
Immunity?
something?
How does she get
Kelsey,
immunity? How? I to
I
this
I,
day don't understand it. How do you get
I don't
immunity?
understand that part either.
I again, like I said, there's something fishy going on there, and I don't like it. But at the end of the day, it's nothing I can do about that. I can't do anything about it.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
it upsets me that other people are like, yeah, this is how it's supposed to be, or people are accepting this, and I'm like, bro, like this to me is the worst type of thing. This is like the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, and if Johnny Depp was found guilty without a reasonable doubt, it's
Mhm.
like, what the hell just happened? This doesn't even
Yeah.
without a reasonable doubt is the problem with me. It's like, yo, there's no doubt. The whole case has doubt. All up in the case is
Yeah,
doubt. All up in it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. Yeah,
Kelsey had the residue on her too.
yeah.
That's automatic doubt. Both of them have
I mean,
motive.
yeah, but I think as far as like the judicial system, which is fucked up, but they're not gonna see it as much of a win if they incarcerate the woman. They're gonna see it as more of a win if they incarcerate the rapper and the one with the all the money and the status. And it's like, oh yeah, we coming for y'all. And I mean, we see the same thing kind of happening with like the is it Young Thug case? Is that
Yeah,
what it is?
Young Thug case.
Yeah. So like we see the same where it's like what you really like. I'm not saying the charges aren't real, but I don't know. It's like they're going way too hard, but then they let other people pass for way more severe shit. And it's crazy to see how it all played out. But yeah, I mean, I think that just speaks
That's a
to how
Rico case.
crazy relationships. That is a Rico case, yeah.
Rico
So
case is a
I
little
mean,
different.
it is, but there's still like a whole other aspect of like the entertainment of it. And it's like they try to prove a point. So instead of just hitting them with the law, they're hitting them with the whole book. And it's unnecessary, in my opinion, for a lot of these cases. But I think that this whole Tory Lanez, Meg the Stallion situation just really speaks on how toxic relationships or how crucial these intimate relationships that you have with people, it can literally make or break you for the rest of your life. That's 10 years. That's on his record.
Yeah.
And some people keep going back to situations where it's like red flag, red flag, red flag. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just my For You page on TikTok and Instagram, but I have seen this like huge surge recently of people talking about working it out with their exes, getting back with like the most toxic motherfuckers and how they're able to like overcome things. Do you not feel like at a certain point, it's better to just go to the unknown versus continuing to go back to what you know?
Well, let me ask you something then, G. Before, I mean, I want to answer that question specifically, but I
Hmm.
want to ask you this question on understanding. Do you think like dating is hard?
Very much so.
Do you think
Yeah, of course.
getting to know someone is hard?
Yes,
Do you think establishing a new foundation with somebody would be difficult?
always.
What about trusting? Do you think trusting is hard
Extremely.
initially? So
Yeah.
yeah, we as people, we live off convenience. I would only assume that with convenience, going back to an ex where you already understand who they are, you're already comfortable with them, you trust them to a certain degree, which you already know what they made a mistake on for why y'all even ended it. I think that would play a big part in why they would even go back is convenience. It's very convenient to be able to rekindle than it is to start anew.
Yeah, that's true. But then it's like convenience versus what's best for you. I mean, it could be convenient to do a lot of things, but we still strive for better. So why do you feel like when it comes to dating, a lot of us are so afraid to leave? Well, I can't even say a lot of us. I feel like men leave quicker than women do, or at least they check out quicker than women do.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's
it's more
yeah.
difficult for women to leave.
If we left, we probably already left a couple months ago, and we're really trying to qualify you. But we left a couple months ago, and we ready to like
Mm,
deuce on you real easy. So I would say that yeah, I mean if we we as men we're gone, but you as a woman, that's the other part that I would have to think about. Like how would it be for y'all? Why would y'all stay?
mm. I think a lot of women have a lot of insecurities, and it's something that we talk about a lot as far as like, especially if we factor in kids or how long the relationship was or how vulnerable we were with that person. With each new partner, a woman gets viewed as less and less. Like we openly talk about that. And I think that a lot of men, when they know their partner is fed up, depending on the circumstances, there is a lot of jargon of like, who's gonna want you as a single mom? Who's gonna want you the way that you are right now? You were like this when we got together, and I loved you enough to stay with you, even though you're not like that anymore. So it's like this, this
Doubt.
rhetoric of depreciation. So then we
Ah.
start to doubt ourselves, our self esteem is lower, and we kind of like, well, shit, like at least I know I have this person. So even though I'm not the happiest, let me just try to hang on to it because I don't know what I'm going to have as options whenever I get back out there. Because this man who's known me for years is telling me, ain't nobody going to want me. And social
Hmm.
media a lot of times tells us, ain't nobody going to want us.
But I call that bullshit though, because the second you log onto a dating app, it's automatic 3,000 people trying to hit you up.
Yeah, but it's not genuine. And like we talk about it all the time, like men control the relationship, right?
Yeah.
So if a woman would want to leave for the simple fact of I want to go have fun, I want to go live my life, then yeah, by all means, absolutely. Have a field day, have a blast. But if a woman is like, I feel like I experienced that. If you're trying to leave a relationship and you're hoping that you're going to be able to find another relationship with ease, with someone better, oh baby, sit down. It's gonna be a while, and that's the reality of it. So it depends on what the woman's looking for.
But
If she just want to have fun, by
out
all
of
means.
200 likes in a week, and I'm being generous with that. Out of 200
I think
likes
it's
in a week.
200 likes in a week.
Oh, trust me. Trust me.
We
Trust
still
me.
need to do
It's
that. We
probably
still need to do
we
that
do.
dating app test.
We
We
do.
do.
We do. And I'm
Hmm.
and this is not gonna be a I told you so or a gotcha moment with you. I'm gonna be like, shit, out of 200 dudes, you telling me not one of them would be like, you know what? I can give them a try. Not one? I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm
I've
just
been on
saying.
dating apps for a long time, and a lot of my homegirls have been on dating apps. And there's a reason why people are like, "Where'd you meet him at?" And it's like, "Oh, I met him on, I don't know, I met him on Hinge or I met him on Facebook dating." And people are like, I don't know," but like, there's a reason, and it's because I feel like it's more like a speed dating sort of thing. It's quick. Your connection is gonna be fast, and it's gonna dissipate even faster.
Let me ask you something.
It's almost like it's not real.
Let me ask you something. Do do you go to the bookstore? Be honest. Frequently.
No.
Do you go to church frequently?
No.
So anywhere you meet the guy is gonna be like you meet him at the club, the bar, you meet him at the
Oh,
store. It's like, come on now. It's like no matter it
that's
doesn't
true.
matter where you meet the person. It's just, is the person gonna put a real good impact on you at that time? And that's the part that I'm like, yeah, like if you get out of a relationship as a woman, your options are still gonna be the exact same before you got into the relationship. You can still pick how you want, you know what I'm saying? That's why for guys,
Yeah.
if they're already checked out, we checked out and we like, all right, it's back to the hunt. You know what I'm saying? We got to go out there to the hunt. But women, y'all could really just be like, all right, bet, move you out of my life. Let me see out of y'all 20 today. Let me see which one I might want to pick. But the problem is, y'all are a lot more selective and more picky when it comes to your partner or a potential partner at that. You know, if you
Yeah.
just swiped right on all the dating apps, like you just swiped right, come on, let's be honest. You know for a fact you're gonna be like, God damn, this is too many goddamn likes. It's too many matches. I got a damn match almost every other person.
The dating apps are a lot. I'm not gonna say that they aren't, but again, it's quality over quantity. A lot of people, you don't even get past the first message.
I
Like
understand that.
because it's so quick, and you're kind of put in a position where even if you're the one looking, it's almost like, and you tell me if you've ever experienced this, if you've been on a dating app where that first message is so critical that it kind of comes with the mentality of entertain me, show me something different, entertain me. And if it's just a hey, how's your day, like something as simple as a hey, how's your day been, depending on how many hey, how's your day you got that day, you're gonna be like, not good enough, you didn't entertain me. Next.
You see?
Yes or no?
No, not
Yeah,
me.
but have you done
That's
that to
you.
women? Oh,
Hell
come
no.
on.
What? You
JR.
think women hit me up first?
Why not? I've hit up dudes first.
No, women don't play. Women play the cat and mouse game. They play the mouse. I'm the cat. Meow. I gotta go after them.
Not the sound effects. I
Meow.
do want to. I do want to shout out Shelly. What's up, baby? Shelly in the chat. Boom, 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 boom. She said that's not true. I've done that before.
She said
Yeah,
that
I mean
is
that.
true.
Oh, I thought she said that's not. See, there
Mm-hmm.
I go.
There you
Being a
go.
woman. Um, no, but honestly, the dating apps are such a cesspool. These now, granted, I've met a lot of great people off the dating apps. I don't want to say that I haven't, but by and large, like it's just so it's cluttered with all of these people who do not have the best intentions, and it's very sexually motivated. And I'm pretty sure I know what you're gonna say when it comes to that, but it's just if you're
It's a
looking
man's
for a real
world.
relationship, it's hard. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
And that's what I'm saying is why women would prefer to go back. You know, they prefer to
Yeah.
go back, but the problem is they'll go back and don't want to issue change. You know, and then if they do, men are gonna take that as like, yo, chill out. Like, let's be honest. If this is what I did to get you, how dare you try to change me? And that's because men don't understand that women date off potential. Women date off of what you're
Mm.
gonna be, not who you are. And a lot of men think, well, I got you like this, so why the hell you tripping now?
You know what? And that's something I think like me and my homegirls have had, like those of us who have experienced failed marriages, a lot of failed relationships, things like that. I'm sorry. Shout out Sunshine. What's up, baby?
Oh
She
shit.
said not all women play the cat and mouse game. What's good? Thank you for typing into the comments, y'all. Be sure to join the conversation. Um, I think that this like concept of like I can change the man, or he's not a certain way that I would like for him to be, but because he likes me, maybe he'll change for me type shit. That's like a dream that we sell ourselves, and it
Yeah.
gets us fucked up. And it does make us stay because then we hold out hope and we're not focused on who he actually is.
which is
And a
stupid.
lot of women, we have to sit with ourselves and really be honest with ourselves about that. Are you attracted to the man that he is and always was? Or are you attracted to what you think you can build him up to be?
See, so many different things with that. As a man, I wouldn't understand how a woman thinks in that situation. I don't know if it's an insecurity. You don't think you're going to get a good man that's going to be able to treat you right or treat you like me, minus the mistake that made us like break up. If you take that one mistake
Hmm.
out, am I still a good man to you? And if so, are you going to find a good man that's going to be able to fulfill all of it? You know, like I don't know if it's an
Hmm.
insecurity. I don't know if it's the other stuff you were like. I wouldn't know what a woman's thinking at that time. But as a man, I do know one thing is that if I got you as I am, you wanting me to do more to me is like the fuck.
But
Uh,
there's levels after so much time being together. So it depends on what we're talking about.
that's true.
I
And
would
again,
expect to see some sort of progression at some point.
but I don't believe men and women build together very well. I believe men build and then women can move in. I do believe that's the best dynamic you can have because then the man takes even more pride on what he's giving his woman even more and so forth and so forth. But if you're both building onto it and you both feel like you're responsible for it, two people can't have the authority. That doesn't really work very well. If you have two leaders, then who is it? What really happens? Like, what's the real leading? So I don't know.
I
That's weird to me.
yeah, I get what you're saying. I disagree on some of those points, but I get what you're saying.
You
I
do,
do
do
get
you
what you're
think
saying.
it's like applicable to have two leaders in a relationship?
I think we can each lead in different areas. So yes.
Hmm. Okay.
Hmm.
So you would have to, is that like a conversation you would have at the beginning of the relationship where it's like you lead in XYZ, I'm in control of XYZ, and we don't step on each other's toes? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think it's that we don't step on each other's toes, but I think it's that we respect. Like if I have a strength in, I don't know, finances and budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
So as the wife, I handle the majority of that, and then the husband handles majority of other things. And it's like not that you can't be involved in finances and budgeting, but you know that that's my strength. I'm stronger in that area than you, so I'm leading in that area.
And you would
But
be,
I,
oh, go ahead.
mhm. No, you can go ahead.
So in my head, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, damn, that would take away one aspect of the like. Even if I trust you, right? If I see there's a
Mhm.
flaw, if I see there's a problem, and I come to you with the problem in the finance and budget, nobody's perfect. You probably made a mistake. That's okay. It happens.
Right.
But if I come to you with the problem in that, how would you address it? And how can we solve the problem? If you're like, no, I think I'm right, and I'm like, but I think you're wrong, but it's going to affect us. And my position as a man is to protect you too. So it's like, this is financially protecting you. But since you're the one who's in charge, how would that argument go in that type of relationship? How would
I
you
mean,
find the middle ground?
I did have an argument like that before, and the way that it went was he basically approached it like, obviously, this is stressing you out, because I was very militant about the budget and things like that. So he was like, you know what, I feel like I can take better care of that, and you can be less stressed. So I said, and again, this is where it comes with compromise. If for whatever reason you feel like it's not working, maybe we do need to try something different. So I allowed him full control of the finances. And then he fucked that up. So when I realized he fucked that up, I was like, okay, give it back. You should have never took it in the first place. But I did allow space for him to be like, you know what? As the man of the household, I feel like this would be better suited. So I feel like as the partner, I'm not even going to say as a wife, as a partner, sometimes you need to allow something different because it could be more beneficial. In that case, it wasn't. But I had to give that room for failure potentially.
Understandable. No,
Or,
that's understandable.
yeah.
No, I get that though. Sometimes, I mean, that's some good trust though. You got to prove a point, and I mean, even if it's not prove a point, you kind of got to make sure that he knows, hey, look, you ain't really do a good job, even though you tried. You tried real
Yeah.
hard. Good job, kudos. No trophy, but you did a good job. But that, I don't know. I mean,
The attempt.
but see, that's
The
another reason
attempt.
why a lot of people don't like would go back because it's like stuff like little stuff like that they can fix. Let's say you broke up with him for that kind of stuff, or let's say a woman broke up with him because he lost his job. He didn't show the same type of
Mm.
ambition. Guess what? The second he shows ambition and he got his money right and everything, you can go back. You could try to go back. My thing is he smart to take you back after that?
There's, I don't know. That's hard because it's very circumstantial. Like, there's so many factors that can go into that. But let me ask you this.
Okay.
When we're talking about going back, do you consider, like, say a couple is like, you know what, we're having a rough time. I need a break. We're not going to do a breakup, like people love to say, but we're going to do a break.
Hmm.
Would you consider that like a knock on you if, say, like that break included like no contact for a month or 2 months?
I don't do breaks.
Would that be considered going back, or how would you
That would be.
view that? Would you view
That would be
okay?
going back.
Because
If
I
if
would
if your
consider
girls
breaks
say it,
breakups.
yeah. If your girl say she need a break, like you got to block her at that point in time. You got to block her completely. It's over. Like,
They are.
cool. What?
What if a man says it?
Yeah, then you got to block him completely, ultimately. But you got to live with that as a woman, though. You have to live with that. You know what I'm saying? So if he's doing better and doing a lot more, then you might have to self-reflect on that. Like, ooh,
Mm,
damn, like I couldn't give him the piece he needed, or I couldn't, like, if he needs a break, what's a break? Like, you know what I'm saying? You need to calm down. You need to cool off. You need a peace. You need some type of, tranquility. If he needs that from you, that means you was not providing that. You are supposed to be his break from life. He's supposed to go out there,
mm.
do stuff, and then he comes home and you're supposed to be his break. So if he needs a break even from you, you're part of that stuff that he don't fuck with. So ultimately, you got to look at yourself as a woman on how that's supposed to be. Now, as a man, if your woman says I need a break, that means she's overworking or whatever it may be. And if she says she needs a break from you, oh yeah, you got to end that instantly as a dude. You got to end that.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Now, you can have self-reflection if you want to as a man, but ultimately, I don't believe it's necessary. I think you just need to know, like, hey, a break from you means a breakup. It's over. I'm not going to tolerate anything as a man. That's just, it don't sound
No,
fair, but that's just how I look at it.
I get it. So how long do you think? Because there's also, I've heard some people use rhetoric of like a certain time frame. Like, say we do break up,
Yeah.
we break up, all bets off, right? Week later, your ex shorty is with a new dude.
Yeah.
Maybe not even gotten physical necessarily, but she's with a new dude. That man, even though he may be going with this different shorty and that different shorty, depending on how quickly she moves on or starts dating again, that's also seen as a knock. And it's like, no, I could never, ever go back, even if it's something that they could work out because she chose to see what her options were. What do you have to say about that? Do you feel like there's a certain time frame for women specifically that we should wait before trying to go out and see our other options?
Fuck no. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to. At the end of the day, a break is a breakup, regardless of how you do it. Maybe she wanted to break up to go and adventure and explore, whatever. Let her do what she has to do. When it's a break, stop. Don't worry about her. Work on yourself. And but this is the problem. Men don't believe it, though. That's the problem. They don't believe it. If you work on
The
yourself,
girl's done.
well, if you work
Oh.
on yourself, you build yourself. The byproduct of you becoming successful are women. So as a man, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, just chill out, do you, and trust and believe these women will pop up. And it's like crazy when they do. But the other side, it's like, as a woman, if your man takes a break and he find out he with another chick, you know what I'm saying? I promise you he gonna treat her better than you. Promise you that. He gonna treat her better than you. So you as a woman, you
That's
gotta say,
tough.
fuck that shit too. Fuck that shit too. You gotta understand that sometimes you are not gonna end up with that person. You might be the lesson for that person and you don't even know it. You don't know it.
I I feel like some, and there's levels. If we're talking about just like a dating relationship versus like a marriage or something like that. But I've been seeing so many examples of women just giving chance after chance and like advocating for it, promoting it, telling other women like, if your husband goes out and leaves and he cheats, like, just pray about it and he'll come back. I was watching a TikTok the other day where this woman was talking about like the power of faith and prayer in her marriage. And she described her situation where her husband was estranged while she was pregnant, newly pregnant,
Oh
the
shit.
entire pregnancy, living with another woman, refusing to talk to her. And then shortly after she gave birth, he started coming back around, playing both sides a little bit. And then eventually he came back to her. And this was her using it as a testimony for, I knew God was going to save my marriage. I knew he would come back one day. And the comments are surprisingly divided. A lot of women being like, yes, you got to pray about it. You just got to stay loyal. Da da da. That's a real woman right there. And then other women that are like, bitch, are you crazy? Are you delusional? That man never loved you in the first place. But I'm seeing like a surge of that. So I'm curious, what's your take on that situation? Why you think about that? I do want to welcome in How to Human Properly. What's good? He said, what up? Tory say he discovered how to make good lockdown music. Listen, and if you guys haven't listened to his music, you need to check it out because it is fire. I don't know who shot Meg, but his music still hits. But yeah.
See,
So what do you have to say about a situation like that? Do you think that's like, oh, that's a good wife right there? Or do you think she's a little delulu?
look, this is gonna come off pretty wrong though, but I think a lot of women are always delulu a lot of the times because they're emotional
Here we
though.
go.
Because they're emotional. I just think they're delulu. I think they're driven by their emotions. So I think it's a little delulu though. But like men, we have a burdens of performance regardless. As men, we have a burdens of performance. So we have to perform. You know, like people don't like lackluster men, you know, no matter what you do. So like at the end of the day, I really believe that, you know, men got to just do what they have to do and women get to reap the benefits. And if you're a woman and not reaping the benefits, then like, bye, on to the next type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think she should have left? She shouldn't have let him come back.
No, unless you're, again, men will come back only because sexual access. If I'm being 100%, sexual access is easy. That's why men will come back. Not because they want to do better, not because none of that stuff. Men will come back because of sexual access. And then by doing so, if you change, he might do better. But if you're still the same and he comes back for sexual access, then he's going to do the exact same thing. Y'all are our motivators. If you're not motivating me still, then I'm still going to do the same thing.
Yeah. I struggle with this a lot because I used to believe so heavily in second chances and like, just depending on the influence or depending on what's going on in life, like somebody can choose to change and be better. I've kind of changed my mindset to kind of like, if that's how they treated me from the beginning or if that's how they started treating me now, it's very difficult for that to shift. So it's harder for me to want to give someone a second chance after ties have been completely cut. Like if we are no longer engaging, we have taken the breakup, whatever. It's hard for me to believe that that person's really going to change and be the type of person I would want to be back in a relationship with. Like certain lines get crossed and I feel like you just can't forget it.
I think you can forgive. Forgiving is
Forgive
cool.
and forget.
But forgetting is not that much. And I think the forgetting has to do with the trust, right? Because when you see similar things that are happening, you're going to resort back to how you felt during the time of distrust. Right. So ultimately, it's not, just don't go back to your exes, my niggas. Like, stop it, bro. Like, the ex is an ex for a reason. It crossed out, bro. That's what we cross shit out at. X that shit. Like, stop that shit. You know what I'm saying? They are not worth it. An ex, not women. Point that out. Not women.
An ex.
The ex is the reason why. And it's hard for men to leave. So as a man, if you're going to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could try.
Leave that girl alone.
Please. And as women, leave alone. Like, I'm not saying don't go back to your ex.
Ladies, we got to do better. No, I'm saying it.
Trust me, a lot of you women are delulu. They delulu. Y'all think y'all can do better. And I promise you, it's a good chance that what? It's hard.
I know it is hard. I've literally, I think I've told you, like, I've had that little, like the angels on your left, the devil's on your right type shit. Like, I have like the good G that's like, baby, you got this. It don't matter. You're going to find somebody that loves you. And then I have the other one that's like, bitch, we are old and we are tired. Do we really want to do this shit? Do we really, or do we want to just go back to what we know? Or do we really just want to kind of stay here and chill out? Because who knows what's on the other side of that door? The grass isn't always greener. So I have struggled with that. And it's not easy dating out here in 2024.
You just said you're talking to two imaginary beings. If that's not the most
It
delulu
is my
thing,
conscience. JR, shut the fuck
you
up.
can
It's my
call it what you
conscience.
want. That shit is
Whatever.
delulu. Women will sit there and say, I had an epiphany. And I'll be like, the fuck is going on?
Yes, because I think a lot of women talk to us. I think anybody should be able to converse with themselves. Welcome in, Michael Green. Welcome back to another episode. He said, never forget. That's my thing. So, okay. Your main set of advice, your main statement is you shouldn't go back to your ex. If it wasn't working for a reason. Keep it pushing, right?
Yep.
What is your advice for people if they choose to go back to their ex? What is the advice that you would give to those people?
Don't complain about it. Don't complain about it. Please stop. I hate when people make decisions and then complain about it. I truly hate that shit because it's like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You made the decision as an adult. You made it. Nobody forced you. You made the decision and then you want to complain about it? Just fix it. That's what being an adult is. Fix the shit. So no, I don't support it. I don't like it. I don't, you know what I'm saying? As a man, if you go back to your ex, it is whatever. Hopefully she earned the relationship again. Hopefully she showed you that. And as a woman, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully you respect the relationship to where he made you earn it back again. If he just gave it to you off rip, it's a good chance that shit ain't shit. But if you actually had to earn the relationship again and you respect it, it might be better off.
Yeah, that's true. Shelly said talking to yourself is important. Amen. See what I'm talking about? And now she running. What you running from, Shelly? What you running from, Shelly? Michael said, you knew the job was dirty when you took it, especially a second time. That's true.
See,
That's true. And I was a serial. I was up until my divorce. I was a serial. Like,
Delulu.
okay, let me just give it another try. Give it another try. Give it another try. Let me just. And I used to take it as like he ain't never getting over me. I was just that girl for him. I was the one that got away. I used to sell myself that fucking story. Which, ladies, baby, if you the one that got away, he not gonna let you get away. If you really that girl, he not gonna let you get away like that. He's gonna do everything in his power to keep you there and make sure that you are satisfied with that relationship. But I used to sell myself that story of like, shit, he want me back, I'm a bad bitch, da, da, da. And that was not the case at all. If anything, I think he viewed me as less than any of the other women because he felt like he didn't have to put in any effort. And I already saw his for real ugly side. And look, this dumb bitch gonna take me back again and again and again. And ooh, I hate that anybody has that one up on me. And there were a couple.
So this is the thing, right? And I want to be very clear when I say this, and I don't want to offend nobody, even though I don't believe it will. When you end a relationship, right? As a man, you know, you have this new type of power. It's like you are in your natural habitat again, you know? That's what I truly believe. I truly believe that men are in their natural habitat when they're single. As a woman, I truly believe, and again, I don't want to offend any women, but I truly believe that women don't know their worth in a man's eyes, not to themselves, but in a man's eyes. I truly don't believe women know that, because a lot of these women, and I've talked to probably 30 women in the last week, right? 30 of them intimately, 30 women in the last week. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them, when I asked all of them, well, I get down now. Come on, I'll be outside now. But I asked them all the same question for study purposes. And I asked them, okay, if there's something that you could change about yourself from your last relationship, what would it be? And all of them said the exact, okay, not the exact same thing, but it all had to do with the man being shitty. Each and every one had to do with the man being shitty. There was not one that was like my lack of communication or my lack of listening skills or my lack of none of that stuff. Each one had to do with the man being shitty. I stayed too long. I put up with more than I should have. I gave second chances and third chances and fourth chances when I should not have. I learned to respect myself because a man will never respect me. Like, it's like, so the men are shitty, the men are shitty, the men are shitty. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it comes like. And it baffled me that I'm like, well, then who are you? Are you shitty? Are you a shitty person? Like, I have no idea who you are. I know the nigga wasn't shit, but you answering the question didn't give me nothing. And that's what made me believe that these women really don't have that self-reflection when it comes to a breakup. I think they feel like, oh, the heavens are saved. I'm free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty. I am free at last. And I think that's absurd. I think that type of self-reflection is very important. And I haven't got that from a lot of women. None of them. Remember, this is random women. None of them did I get it from. So it just makes me really believe that, like, yo, you really think you can go out there and go find a new man or whatever it may be if you don't even know if you're the problem, because it might not have been her, but if you're the problem, you don't even have the self-reflection to know that. So your relationship, next relationship, if you take back your ex relationship, you might not even fix yourself. Yeah. Accountability. I don't think women have a lot of accountability. Some do, but I don't think a lot of women do.
Sheesh. I do want to, that stung a little bit. Michael said 30. He said 30. Shelly said
30.
That goes for both men and women. No one wants to take ownership. Michael said, gotta be accountable both ways. I will say this. I know that, like, coming out of my situation, I was very bitter for a very long time. And I had this warped perception of what dating was going to be like. Like I said, I thought I was going to go out and find myself a good man, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. It did not work like that. And because it didn't work like that, and I was forced to sit with myself in my own company, and then I had like 50-50 custody with the kids. So I was really like by myself a lot whenever he would have the kids and stuff. And being in my own company, I got on my own nerves. Seeing how I moved sometimes, I got on my own. I had a lot of time to self-reflect on what the fuck went wrong in these other relationships. Because when you are going out there and you're seeing all these talking phases fail, or these potential boyfriends fail, you have to ask yourself, ladies, and I know we hate this, and I hate this as well, but you have to kind of go back and be like, okay, if it ain't working with nobody, and I done talked to I don't know how many different people, and I'm at a different age, and I have more knowledge, like, what is it that I'm doing that's contributing to this? And I think that's the biggest benefit, and actually sitting back, talking to men about their experiences with women is also a huge eye opener, which is why I love this podcast, because it shows both sides of it. You have to understand how a man thinks to understand what we as women do that contributes to these relationships failing, to infidelity and things like that. I'm not taking accountability off the man at all, because everybody's got to do their part. But I do notice, Shelly, to your comment, that a lot of women do side with, oh, he cheated, so he's a piece of shit, and that's why it didn't work. And I was such a good woman because I kept taking him back. We need to self-reflect a lot more, because I guarantee you there was more.
Does that make her a good woman?
He just cheated.
It makes her kind of stupid, if you ask me. If you regret taking him back, that makes you stupid. You did the same thing over and over, looking for a different, response or reaction or a different conclusion. That right there by itself, just to me, people say it's insanity, but I'm like, nah, that's kind of stupid. That's stupid. They ain't do nothing different.
It's both. I think we just want so badly for it to work that we have faith, but that faith is like, what is the foundation? What have you seen in reality, in real life, that's motivating this faith that you have that this person has changed, or that this situation is going to be different? And it's not enough to hope that they change. You have to see fundamental factors shift before you can actually be like, okay, this is really going to change. And I remember a conversation I had with my brother. My brother rarely talks to me about anything. But when I was going to take back one of my exes, he was like, look, it's never going to work. And it's never going to work because you're never going to fully forgive him. And if you do choose to get back with him, you cannot make him feel like he's under trial basis. There is no, let me check your phone all the time, or let me see your location. He is going to feel smothered. He's going to feel like you don't trust him, and you don't. So if you do choose to go back to somebody, you have to be willing to really let them start fresh from a blank slate, the same way it was when y'all first got together. Because if you're basing it off of what they just did, then there's probably not going to be any forward movement there.
Yeah, but
And
you're
that would be
asking
my advice to y'all too.
again. A professor asked a group of women and a group of men, right? They asked them separately, "What do y'all think about?" Or like, what was it? In the shower alone, what do you think about? And majority of the women, and I mean a vast majority of the women, answered they think about past conversations when they're in the shower. And the vast majority of men, all of them talked about sports and sex. That's what they thought about in the shower. So as a woman, if you think, oh, you got to get over or you're going to get past, it's like you're never going to actually forget it whatsoever. And I think that's going to affect you moving forward when you're always going to remember how you felt, what was said, what was going on in those times. It's not really. So for a woman, I would always say don't go back, because even if he changed, anything that happens is gonna like is gonna have that like not connection, but it's gonna have that effect of where you're gonna put something else into that place, a past situation into that place. I always say if women got ammo, they're gonna act like Rambo, and that's what's gonna happen with women all the time, you know. But as a man, we just think about some other shit though. But I mean, again, we're not gonna forgive a woman for cheating on us. That's one thing we're never gonna do. Like we're not actually gonna forgive.
Some men do.
They
Some
might.
men do.
Come on now, let's be real. Let's be real. They
men do.
No, they're insecure. Those are very insecure men who don't think they can find a woman.
Women.
No, I don't think that's women being insecure. I think that's women being women. Women naturally protect their offspring naturally, and they have to make sure the person they're with is at a high standard. So they already have high expectations, high standards. That's normal for a woman to be like, hey, I need like XYZ of this caliber. Men, we don't care about XYZ. You could work at McDonald's. We don't give a fuck about what you do. But one thing we don't want is we don't want to be made a fool. Our pride is in place. A woman's pride is not in place as much as a man's. So it's a little different. Like we're not going to actually forgive and forget the cheating. Women, on the other hand, they will, because they're not losing any other aspect of the man, if that's one of those situations. But if he was like paying for her house and having a family with her and taking her on trips and shit, then yeah, that's a whole different thing. That's you losing your resources and everything for your own offspring that she's gaining from your man. That's a whole different thing. But if it's just he went out there, fucked a bitch and cheated, women are more apt to forgive and forget. Men will never.
I don't think women actually forget. I think it's just they, like you said, they choose. There's not a lot of good options out there, so they would just rather settle where they're at, especially if they're getting other needs met, like financially, and they're at a certain status. So I get that. But I feel like a man would, if a man was truly really benefiting off of a woman like that, I feel like a man would be more likely to want to stay or come back in a situation like that as well.
Yeah, insecurities, because he don't think he's going to be able to get that from any other woman. If that woman's doing like way and above the average woman, then yeah, he's going to be insecure, and he's not going to think that he has any worth to be able to do that. He's just going to milk it. And that, to me, nobody wants that anyway. No woman even wants that. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. I do want to tap in with the comments really quickly. Michael Green said, "What's the common denominator?" Are you asking in my situation what was the common denominator? Because I could tell you. Shelly said it does. Michael Green says that's why men who cheat still be so hurt when they woman cheats. Shaking my head, still doesn't make sense to me. Pride. I think it's because men view women as property more than anything.
Damn, that sounds bad, but it is true. It is true.
I mean, it's true. It's true, and they view their woman as like a reflection of them. How to Human Properly says, don't nobody want relationships no more. These 304s want to be 304s, and these ninjas are weak and encouraging it. You know what? That sounds a lot like the conversation we had earlier today, JR.
It's true.
But yeah, that's true. But I think a lot of people don't want relationships anymore because they're tired of putting in resources. They're tired of putting in their emotions and things like that, and feeling like they're getting gypped at the end of the day. And that's really the reality of it, at least for me.
Yeah, but making a bad investment isn't like, I mean, if you make a bad investment, you make a bad investment. It is whatever though. But you have to be smart on your investments. You can't you can't put it all on red. You know what I'm saying? You just can't do that. You have to make smart investments when it comes to men dealing with women. You have to make very smart investments. And women, I don't know, because to me it's harder for a man to leave than a woman. Like I think men really, like I said,
Explain
it's
yourself.
I think men try,
Explain yourself.
because I really do believe men try to qualify women. I think it's so hard for them to disqualify a woman because they're always trying to qualify a woman unless it's cheating. If it's cheating, it's a whole different thing. You're done. You're gone. But if it's not cheating, let's say you don't want to cook. Let's say you don't want to have sex. Men try so hard to put up with the stuff. If you don't want to do your role as a woman, it's a 9 times out of 10 your man's not going to leave. If you don't work no more, 9 times out of 10 your man's not going to leave. You know what I'm saying? But as a woman, if he doesn't do his stuff, you're on the brink. If he doesn't work anymore, he has a time limit. Like y'all try to disqualify a man more than more than we try to qualify a woman. Does that make sense?
So what is your take on men who have good women at home? Women who do the sexual favors that they look for, women who take care of the kids, women who speak words of affirmation to them, stroke their ego, submit to them, be perfect little housewives. What do you say about the men who basically are still emotionally checked out and cheating, and they do not seem happy at home even though they have a perfectly good woman at home?
I don't think cheating has anything to do with emotional checked out, but emotionally checked out. Well, I just don't believe that. I believe men just cheat because
We're gonna
if she throw it, he
agree to
catch it.
disagree
I
on
don't
that
believe
one.
that's I don't think men be like, damn, my woman ain't doing it, I'm gonna go cheat. I believe men just go out, get a drink, and if a bitch throw it, they gonna catch it. But that's just me. But I will say this, right? It's difficult to date a man. That's why I do believe women should not be working, because it's already a lot of work to date a man. I'm not saying we're complicated. It's just a lot of work. We're very simple, but it's a lot of work is what I really do believe. And if you do all that stuff, the foundation still has to be set. And the foundation is always going to be my 3 pillars to help everything and hold everything up. That's going to be shut the fuck up, unlimited mouth hugs, and smile, positive energy right there. If you lack in any of those 3, it doesn't matter how much you do for the man. Those 3 are the basis of what men really do appreciate and respect from a woman. We love that shit. We love and adore that shit. If that's your base and foundation, all the other stuff that you do is like a add-on. It's a plus. So if she does all that stuff, us men, we can't really appreciate that because that's not actually for us. You'll do that even if we weren't there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So, but those 3 things are specifically for us. That's for us. Your positive energy is for us. We want that peace. We want to come home and know this is our break from the reality of the world and the hardships. Like whatever it is, the competition of being a man, the goddamn all the other bullshit that comes with being a man, regardless of what you do as a job, the hierarchy of being a man, that you might feel less than the other man that's over there because he's doing more than you and at a better position than you, just because he's been there longer or first. At the end of the day, us men, we really value those 3 pillars, you know. And if you give unlimited mouth hugs and just smile, but you don't shut the fuck up, it don't matter how much you do, that's just gonna fuck with us. If you shut the fuck up and you motherfucking give unlimited mouth hugs, but you don't give no positive energy, that shit's gonna affect us. And if you shut the fuck up and smile, but you don't fuck, that's gonna affect us. One out of the 3 pillars is gonna affect us. But if you have that 3 pillars as a foundation, I think you're already set for success as a woman.
I think a lot of women start out with the 3 pillars, and then based on how a man treats them over time, after that infatuation fades, a lot of women, in my opinion, this could be completely false, but I feel like a lot of women try to hang on to those 3 pillars and give that, but it's difficult to do those 3 pillars when you're with someone who has lost respect for you and they're moving in a way that is hurtful to you, and you're just trying to, like, at that point you're grasping for straws. That's where the term bitching comes from, or that's where it's like, shit, I'm frustrated with you doing XYZ, so yeah, I'm not getting wet. I don't want to fuck you right now, sorry, you done pissed me off, and I can't say nothing about it because I'm expected to shut the fuck up and smile, because if I don't, you're gonna see it as nagging. Like, there is a cause and effect that I feel like a lot of time men do not take accountability for. I'm not saying that women are absolutely perfect and it takes a man to fuck up before they start slacking, because I think everybody is guilty of getting too comfortable at some point. but it's that recognition and being able to bounce back. And I just don't know if when that comfortability sets in, if a lot of men are truly trying to bounce back and like spark the romance back in the relationship. And that's where a lot of shit dies.
I don't know. I
My
think it.
opinion.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't know if they actually come with only because women date off potential. I don't know if it works that way for real. I don't think they actually do come with that. I think they just go
Solid.
off of whatever's going to benefit the relationship, you know. But they're not thinking about what's going to benefit the man, who's going to be thinking about what's going to benefit the relationship. That's just my opinion with it. Like it's a difficult
That's a
situation.
valid point. That's a valid point. I do want to tap in with the comments once again. Michael Green said, "I think expectations need to be made clear from jump." Not sure if that was mentioned already. Yeah, definitely for sure. How to Human Properly said, "Good women are married and been that way since they were an adult, since they became an adult." That's funny to me because I got I was married by shit. How old was I? 22 was when I got married. I got married at 22. Had my second and last child by 26 and was divorced 26. So I don't know. I think the way that the dating is going and marriages is going and female equality and females being more in the workforce, not having to depend on a man as much, is making a lot of these good women who did get married at a young age now divorced women and what y'all consider as tainted and bitter. So that's a very interesting point. He said, "I also believe in women dating off potential, like JR said. Only thing is a woman's perspective on potential is horribly wrong." That's true. Just thought I'd put that out there. Yeah, that's true. And we did touch on that. A woman's perception of potential. I don't even think it's rooted in things that they've actually seen from a man, from that particular man, to be exact. I think a lot of women think that they can just train a man, which I have a huge problem with. Um, but yeah, I think that's kind of the mindset. And then they get fucked up when they realize they can't be in control of them.
Yeah,
So yeah.
but I do believe that training a man isn't a bad thing. You know, and I think that's why a lot of women would like to take a man back sometimes when it comes to their exes, because they weren't done with training that man. Again, I don't believe in training the man means you have the authority over the man, but I do believe training the man on how you want to be loved is important in how you do it. You know, if you have that open line of communication and you're trying to, it's a song, teach me how to love, but it's like teaching you how to love me, you know, teaching you what makes me tick, what makes me motivate, what makes me thrive, what makes me go up, what makes me do the things that I like to do and be positive around you. I think that's still important though, but I don't think anybody wants to train anybody. And I think, again, I think women are lazy when it comes to it. I think relationships are a man's job. And I think a lot of women just do it because it's like, this is just the first step to get married. You know, I truly believe that. I don't think people appreciate it a lot more than what they do. I think a lot of women like to rush it or whatever it may be. And I think a lot of men like to prolong it because they're benefiting from it without actually having to give up full commitment. And I think that right there needs to be the first talk you have to, or not the first talk, but that has to be a talk within the relationship too.
Oh Lord, that just gave me a migraine just trying to think. I don't know. I hate dating. How to Human Properly said, "Maybe we should go back to choosing prospects for women again." JR, explain.
What,
What does
prospects
he
for women?
mean? Are you like arranged marriages and shit?
Don't get me wrong.
That's what we're talking
I'm
about?
okay with arranged marriages. All right. I'm okay with that. You know, if it's a 2-parent household, but what I will say, I mean, prospects for women, a prospect pretty much is something that you're viewing for, right? You're looking for, it's not exactly an applicant yet or anything like that, but it's like a prospect. It's like they have the potential, right? I think a lot of men don't do that. They give the position to a woman a little too quick. Off the rip, if a woman says, "I like you," they go back to middle school where it was like, "Ooh, I like you." And then the man was like, "Oh, I like you too." But in reality, it's like, I don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? But she
Yeah, yeah,
sees
yeah.
what she wants out of him already because he's already presented himself as such with his status and what his ability to do whatever he is that he's doing that make her attractive. But when it comes down to the man, we're okay with just being like, "Oh, I like you too." But the real situation should be, hey, you know what I'm saying? Who the fuck are you? You know, as a man, like, who the fuck are you then? If I'm about to show you how Superman I am, who are you? Are you Superwoman? Are you? Are you doing the things that
That's
I
true.
want specifically for me? I'm already doing what you want as a man. That's why you came and told me that you liked me. But are you doing this stuff for me to where I can actually reward you a relationship?
Mm.
That shit made you think, didn't it?
I will say this. I agree on taking it very, very slow to exchange titles and to be in a relationship. But I don't think there's any issue. And in fact, I encourage and like if you really are interested in someone, I think that there's nothing wrong with very quickly agreeing on exclusivity. I know a lot of men wouldn't agree to that,
Hell
but
nah.
ladies, I do think that it's important, at least from the lady's perspective, to express to that man like, "Hey, I am interested in you enough to say I'm not soliciting for other options. I'm not open for business. I just want to focus on getting to know you." I think that that could be something that happens quickly, and I don't think that that's a red flag. I think it should happen quickly if you genuinely like somebody.
For a
But
man,
yeah, as
it's
far as
good.
rushing in a relationship, no.
Don't you
For a
think
man, for
if
what?
a man is looking for loyalty, then I think that's amazing for a woman to sit there and say, okay, bet
Yeah, but are they gonna
exclusivity
match
for
it?
them. But that's what I'm saying. If you're expecting him to match it, that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Why are you
That's
expecting
why
him
I
to
don't
match it
even.
because you're
I wouldn't
ready?
even ask.
Why don't you
I
just
wouldn't
be
ask.
ready? It's okay for you to be ready. Let me ask you something. Do you feel stupid if you are committed before you know he is committed or not? Do you feel stupid?
No, because I feel like if I tell him, like I had this recently where I specifically said, "Listen, I don't know what you're doing, and I'm not asking what you're doing. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm not interested in nobody else but you. So I'm gonna continue to pursue you. That's where my intentions are, and hopefully, things progress the way that I see the potential for it to go." And I left it at that.
Let me
I
ask you
did.
something.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because if he told you that's cool and then you hit him up the next day and he's like, yeah, I got an arrangement I have to do today, but let me hit you up
Hmm.
tomorrow. Let's say he's about to go on a date and you ask him, you about to go on a date or something? And he goes, yeah, I'm about to go on a date. Are you still going to feel like you're going to have that exclusivity commitment towards that relationship? Or are you going to be like, never mind, then I'll pull it back?
To be honest, mm, it depends. It depends on how quickly and under the circumstances that I was like, you know what? I want to be exclusive. Am I saying I want to be exclusive because there's no other options right now, or did I actually have to cut off other options because I like you the best? Because that could be a factor as well.
You cut off, let's just say you cut off all the options because you liked him the best. Let's just say that.
Okay, and then he's so entertained. I wouldn't take away my exclusivity necessarily. I don't think it's something that I would immediately take away, but it would be something where I'm kind of like, okay, I'm cognizant of it and I may limit the access that he has to me. So
So
exclusivity, no. But as far as like if we were hanging out 3 times a week, I may lower that down to two. Or if I was thinking about being sexually active with him, I might just go ahead and take that off the table because I don't know what he's doing with these other women. So like as far as that's concerned, I would slow things down towards the progression of a relationship. I don't think I would immediately take away exclusivity.
so
Depending on
you
how he
would
did it.
so you would alter the pursuant of the relationship over the conditions of what he does after you're the one who are ready. Not if he's ready. You don't care if he's ready. It's off of if you're ready, then you would alter the pursuant of you trying to pursue the relationship, the pursuant of the relationship. You see how
See,
that's
now
kind
I
of
feel like
wild?
you kind of got me in a corner. But I'm really big on I don't ask. So if you tell me, I'm assuming it's something major. So
I'm
if
mhm.
you choose, like, I'm not gonna ask him, oh, so you going on a date or something? I'm not gonna ask him that. You tell me you got plans and you're not free tonight. Okay, cool. Let me know next time you're free. And then I go on. But if I ask the question,
See, I think a
if
lot of
I
women
ask
think
the
the same
question,
way.
then I feel like you know what? I take it back. If I asked the question and he said, "Yeah, actually, I'm going on a date," then I probably would be like, "Fuck this shit." I might not talk to him
And
again.
that's okay, but I want you
If
to
I
understand
ask,
the underlying pressure you just put on the man just by telling him you're going to be exclusive. You by yourself are demanding the relationship because there's consequences for him. There's
nuh-uh.
consequences for him not adhering to your standards. So you already
It's not. I'm
pressured the
not putting
relationship.
standards out there. I'm just saying my intentions
If he
are
says he's
this.
going on the
I
date,
do
you're
not.
changing your dynamic.
I don't know. I feel like I'm in a courtroom and I just got cross examined, and you just go with my first answer. Damn it. I don't know
But
because I could talk all this. I could talk about this for days, but there's nothing like actually experiencing it. So I know. I'm sorry. He was like, "Dang, she reneged on." I know, but it's because when I think about being in that situation, like emotions, how would I feel? What are the circumstances in which I'm like, okay, I'll be exclusive with this person. Like there's different factors, so I don't know. I don't
I'm
know.
I'm not saying
But
this
that's
for
why
you.
communication is important.
But it's not just
Communication
you
is
though,
very
G.
important.
It's also a lot of women would do the same thing. I truly believe they would. They would go in to the relationship if it's not meeting their time, because I always say men, when they're ready, they're gonna tell you when they're ready. When they want a relationship, they're
Facts.
gonna tell you. When they want to get married, they're gonna tell you. It's our job to do so. We control the relationship. It's our job to give it when it's time and it's
Mm.
ready. If you then pressure the relationship on us, right? And then you retract it, it's like, damn, like you are going to dictate when I'm ready to have the relationship, and now you're going to retract it, which cancels out the progression that we've already made, all because I'm not there yet. It's your job to obtain a relationship from me or retain a relationship. That's your job. Why are you trying to put pressure on me on your job?
I don't think it's just my job though. It's their job as well. If we're both working towards it, otherwise, then what are you talking to me
If
for?
you're
Because
already
if you're
being
talking to me for
exclusive, I already
bullshit,
earned it. If you're being exclusive, I've already earned it. If you're trying to, I've earned that already. I did my job. I
I
got.
don't know if you earned it as much as that's just where my intentions are as well.
Why are your intentions like that?
Oh, because okay, like Shelly be making fun of me all the time. Really quick, shout out to is it Detran Gregory? What's up? What's good? Welcome to Life of G podcast. Thank you for tapping into the comments. He said, "You're what's good." Shelly tells me all the time. She's like, "Girl, I don't know why you don't like talk to multiple men at once. Most of the time, I'm talking to one man at once. Do you feel like because I choose to?" Put my time and energy towards one man at a time, that's me forcing him into a relationship if I express that to him.
The fact that you would
Is that
have
what you're saying?
repercussions for his inadequacies on the relationship that you've already said, I'm going to make it this way.
Look, I'm not naive. I'm not naive to
Of
it.
course.
I never go into any situation, even if I'm first talking to a dude and he's like, I ain't talking to no bitches, I ain't fucking no bitches. Yes, you are. Not to say you're a liar, but I just go in with that mentality so I don't set myself up for disappointment. That being said, if we're at a point again, if we've been talking for a minute and I'm like, damn, I'm really feeling you, like, I just want you to know my intentions with you. I'm hoping for this to progress to a relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes back and is like, okay, cool, but I got this date lined up on Tuesday and this video over here on Thursday. I mean, naturally, it's just gonna be like, okay, well, maybe our timing isn't aligned, or I just need to be cognizant that I'm in competition with these other women, which I already knew. But the fact that you are openly telling me like I'm going on a date with this woman,
Yeah.
plans with you are gonna be pushed to the side. I can't talk to you so that way I can go do this with this other woman. That's where to me it's kind of like, okay, it's not just like, oh, I'm just messaging this shorty because we message back and forth. If I see that I'm like number 3 on his list or I'm competing with all these other women, sometimes I will choose to bow out. I don't feel like that's me pressuring him into a relationship.
Well, let me
It's just
ask you
like, baby, you
something.
got your options, so figure that out.
Let me ask you something. Let's say you want to go to a job, right? And let's say you didn't send your application to the job, right? And then they sit there and
Mhm.
they said, you know what, we're going to do a meeting with you. And you go to the meeting and you see 5 other people there at the meeting, right? After the meeting, right? Or the interview, let's say it's an interview, they're like, oh, you're great. We're definitely want to have you back for a second interviews type stuff. And now you're feeling on
Mhm.
high horse like, damn, I'm about to get this job. They said I was great. I'm about to get this job. And then when the next woman who comes out, they're like, oh, you're amazing. We definitely want to get a second interview with you. And you hear them say that. Are you going to be like, fuck this job? Or are you going to go back for the next interview?
No, it's not like that, but I think it's levels. Like again, if it's something fresh, I assume that you're talking to other women. But I'm also not going to ask about it. If a man is going out of his way to let me know about these other women, chances are I'm not his first pick. Which
I'll,
doesn't mean I'm going to automatically back off.
you
But it
don't know
also
what's
doesn't
his
mean that
first
I'm gonna
pick
be
though.
gas full ahead. No, I don't know.
What? But
But
why
I know that
not?
it's not.
Would you be gas
But
free? Would you be doing that
actually,
for the
I take it
interview?
back. I take it back. I take it back. I was talking to one dude for a long time, and he was very honest
Hmm.
about everything that he did. He lied to certain women, one woman in particular, but I always knew the truth, and I used to think that that made me special because I knew about all the other bitches.
Yeah, that is
But
make
you
you
know,
special. You
he's
the
being
main.
honest with me, right? No, that's not what it is. That's not what it was. He was telling me the truth because he wasn't afraid to lose me. He was afraid of losing these other women, which is why he wouldn't dare to tell them I'm fucking with this shorty and this shorty and this shorty, or I'm talking to these other women. He wasn't afraid to lose me, so he could be honest with me, and he wasn't gonna feel the pain of losing me if I was like, you know what, bye. Because how many women are going to openly be like, yeah, talk to as many bitches as you want. I don't care. That's not, and how many men are going to be like that?
Wait,
That's not
that's what you
exactly
went to?
realistic.
You went to the
What you
fact that
mean?
he felt so comfortable with you that he can tell you the truth, to he actually doesn't care about you. That's what
It's
you went
not that
to?
he doesn't care, but
Well, he doesn't care
he
about
didn't
losing
care
you.
to lose me. He
That
didn't care
means
to
he
lose
doesn't
me
care
as an
about
option
you
like
as if you're
that.
not there anymore.
Yeah, I stand by that. Life of G podcast supports this message.
Let me tell you
Yes, that's
something.
what I went to.
That can be true. You know what I'm saying? Me, when I had my football team, and I always said, had my franchise player, that was the main chick. She knew about my football team. And then I had my quarterback. That was the girlfriend ish. And then I had my running back. That was the side chick ish. You know what I'm saying? And then I had my wide receivers. Those the biddies that I take to the barbecue. I take on dates. I have fun with. They're real, a lot of fun. And then I have my tight end. That's like the super sneaky link. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like the running back. She not in the same city. You feel me? But the goddamn the tight end, she in the same city. She the sneaky link like type shit. You know what I'm saying? Um, when I had that team, I will give all of them up for the franchise player, even though I told her the absolute truth. But that's because she was my comfort. She was my peace. She was what I can go ahead and lay my head on. You know what I'm saying? All these other women was like, yo, this is for the fun. This is for the hunt. This is for me being as a man. And I just want to go out there and just do my shit. You know what I'm saying? Try to like do my own thing and be single and shit. But my franchise player, that's the main chick. That's the way I looked at it. Now, again, you could be right, though. Maybe he didn't care about losing you and he told you the truth. Maybe he didn't look at it that way whatsoever, though. But let me ask you something. Did he try to spin a block?
Many times.
Exactly.
I also don't take that as a badge of honor.
That he
I take
tried
that
to
as, oh,
spin the block?
you think like there's a reason you're not approaching Shorty. It's because you know she don't play that shit. Why the fuck you keep coming back over here?
That's what you think?
Why you keep coming over to me? Yes. And my ladies, sound off in the chat, please. I do
You
want to come in
said
with the
multiple
comments.
times, though. I'm going to point that out. You said multiple times. That means you already
What did I
said
say?
I don't play that shit, and he still came back. That's more than I don't play that. Like, you don't play that shit. He came back multiple times because you're the franchise player.
Nah. Can't
Whatever.
be the franchise when you never got the title. Can't be the franchise when you never got the commitment. It would be different if it was something like that. But when you're one of the many, I think you moving how you moving. You get what I'm saying?
Damn, one of the many. Is that one of my terms?
One of the many.
Did you think of that, or did you know that was one of my terms?
I would like to think that I thought of that. You're just one of the many.
That's one of my terms. You
It,
stole my turn. I don't. It's my term.
I didn't say your term. I do want to tap in with the comments. How to Human properly said the expecting him to be involved with somebody is smart. How do you move forward with that information / assumption? G. Again, I'm aware. I just don't want to be told. Like, I want to be like the horse in the horse races that have the blinders on. Like, I'm racing against people, but I'm so focused at the finish line that I'm not thinking about these other bitches. If I know about the other bitches, that's when I start to like, what's the word? It's not self-destruct. What's the word, JR? What's the word?
Implode.
Self-sabotage. That's when I start to
Self-sabotage.
self-sabotage. I'm gonna look at these other, if I find out, oh, don't let me see what the other bitches look like. Cause then I'm gonna be like, damn, why he like, but then he like me. That don't go together. I wonder if, so which one does he like more? Like, I will just overthink it. And then that's an unhealthy mindset for me to be in. So regardless, I could be his number one out of all of them, but I will literally talk myself out of it because I don't have those blinders on. I need the blinders on. If you care about me, make sure I don't know about them bitches. That's all I'm saying.
That sounds horrible. Lie to you?
But I'm not.
Lie to
Oh
you?
God.
I'm not saying
This is a
you,
song.
but
Neo has a song
and I believe a
that
lot of
that
women
says
would
that.
like that. But I that goes off when I say women can't handle the truth, and I would wish I was wrong about that. I would wish I was wrong about women not handling the truth. But if a woman told me to lie to her, that just confirms that you can't handle the truth. You cannot handle the fact
But
that you have not earned the relationship from me yet. And it's hard for me to even say that without losing you, because it's like, damn, I just want you to do better. You haven't built the foundation. You haven't done. A lot of women want the relationship and they've done absolutely nothing but sit there and hold trigger to the cat. That's all they've done is sit there and hold the trigger to the cat. You have not been my comfort. You have not been my peace. You have not been my positive attitude. You have not shut up and let me lead. You have not made me feel like I was a king. You have not given me unlimited mouth hugs, unlimited sexual access. You have not done so many things, or one of the things. And to me, it's absolutely absurd. It's absurd for you to think you've earned the relationship by doing mediocre things as a woman. That is your job.
I don't move mediocre though.
I'm not you, but I'm talking about women in general.
I'm just saying that like contributes to the mind. I remember a dude telling me like, I was like, hey, I don't see you as a friend anymore. I see you as more than a friend. Sorry, fuck that up. I see you as more than a friend, and I would like to pursue da 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 da. And he was like, okay, like, let's talk about it. But in the conversation of us talking about it, he told me about this bitch that recently told him that she wanted him, and another one and another one. And I think there was like 4 of us in total. And I was like, cool. And then the question started. And I started realizing that he, on the phone with me in real time, is doing a compare and contrast between all the bitches. And I was like, no, we're not doing that. You're going to have to do that yourself. I'm not going to help you do that. I'm not going to answer questions like it's a fucking interview, knowingly that you're comparing me. I was like, at the end of the day, we may be similar, but you have experienced different things with each one of us. You know what it's like to have conversations, somewhat of a relationship with each one of these women. You're going to have to figure that out, and I'm going to give you the space to do it. At the end of the day,
you
piss them off,
entitled son of a gun. I didn't want to call you a bitch because you know how I'm doing.
It's
you know
not entitled. It's not entitled. It was just like,
shit.
You got to figure that out. I'm not going to help you figure that out. That's your choice to make. I don't want to coerce you. I don't want to have to beg somebody. I don't want to have to convince somebody that I'm the best choice. I want you to know because of everything that I've done up until that point.
That's me.
Not my decision to make. That's his.
I want to give you the equivalent. That's like me coming to you like, yo, I like you. I adore you. Yada, yada, yada. I want to take you out. You know what I'm saying? And I expect sex from you. But before I take you out, I'm sitting here like, I shouldn't have to do all that shit. You should just have sex with me just because.
That's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's like, I don't have to do any of that. I shouldn't have to prove myself to you. You should just have sex with me because I feel like I'm good.
That's not the same thing.
Yes, it is. I have to earn sexual access from a woman, just like you have to earn a relationship from a man. That's why I truly believe that women. Go ahead.
I wasn't forcing. It wasn't a situation where I was like, be with me or else. That wasn't it. I was just basically saying like, look, I see you in this way. I would like to pursue this with you.
Same.
Do you see that potential here?
Yeah, I see you as a sexual partner. Do you want to proceed with sexual activities?
I'm just saying, in that scenario, I felt like he done spent enough time with me at that point. We done had certain conversations. He knew what it would be like for the most part.
And I felt like I was your type.
Or to be with me in that more committed situation.
And I felt like I had the potential.
Have to answer any additional questions at that point.
And I felt like I shouldn't have to prove myself anymore at that point to where you should have wanted to have sexual access to me because you went on this date with me. I am your type.
So if a girl were to do that to you, if a girl were to do that to you, it's like, you know what, JR, I think you're great, but I just want to let you know there's my ex husband came back, or my ex boyfriend over here came back, my old sneaky link came back, and this motherfucker that I met at the club the other day, they all trying to get in a relationship with me, JR. I want you to tell me why I should choose you. You're not going to take that in any kind of way, especially after you've already put in time and effort into that situation with her.
Because
You're not going to feel no type of way off of that.
Because I am the one who controls relationship as a man. That ain't happening.
Well,
you control sexual access. There's a whole different thing.
I need you to put your mindset in the reverse, because you're judging me on mine,
hold on.
and my mindset
is
the one that's not controlling.
And I'm gonna give it to you right now.
Okay.
And you got to answer this yes or no. I don't want any other answer but yes or no. Do guys play the long game? All right, then. I've proven my point. They will sit and wait and wait and wait through your relationship, to your next relationship, to your next relationship, just to get the sexual access. Do not play with me. I know these guys are trying to earn coochie, whatever way, being in the friend zone there may be, and multiple different ways. Men are trying to earn the cat. You women think you're too entitled and too good to even earn a relationship. Y'all think it should be just given to y'all.
That's
just
not what
because.
I said.
I know that's not what you're. I know that's not what you're trying to say. But I'm trying to.
It way left.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, sometimes men know what they have right in front of them, but because they're not ready for a relationship, or because they want to sow their wild oats, see what other options are out there, they're going to drag it out when they have a perfectly good option. And in that case, I feel like that woman who is a good option, depending on how much time and effort has already been invested in this talking phase or situation, I don't think it's wrong for that woman to say, okay, clearly you want to be out here. I want to be in a relationship with somebody. I'm willing to go slow on that, but your mindset's not even there to where you can commit. We done experience all this stuff, and you're still asking yourself, is this the type of woman I would even want to be remotely exclusive with? I don't think there's anything wrong with that woman then taking her energy and saying, you know what? Figure that out. And then at the end of the day, if I'm the one you choose, holla at me. But until then, I'm gonna see myself out.
But there's two parts of that.
A bad thing.
It's two parts. Either a man doesn't know where he's at in life to be able to actually commit to a relationship and give it full energy, or she ain't earned it yet and she's trying to pressure him to do so. And that to me is wrong. That's wrong.
Well, I can tell you I earned it.
Well, let me ask you a real question. What? Right? Well, I'm not even going to ask you a question. I'm going to say this to the women out there. I'm going to speak directly to them.
Oh, God.
If he has not tried to make the relationship like a commitment exclusive, if he has not done that, you ain't earned it yet. If you've been dating a guy for who gives a shit how long, and he hasn't got down on one knee and asked you to marry him, you ain't wifey material yet. That's what it comes down to. For him, not in general. You might be good to somebody else. There you go. But to him, you ain't earned it yet.
That's better.
That's what men will, I promise you, when a man thinks it's right, he will do such thing because you are going to be irreplaceable. Women don't care about being irreplaceable no more. They don't care.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
You just said if he ain't about it, you leaving. You gonna pull back. You gonna take it back.
Oh my God, that was one situation.
But a lot of women think that way.
A lot of men think that way.
That they're gonna pull back?
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna ask you another question, and I want a yes or no. How long will a man stay in the friend zone?
Forever.
So stop acting like they pulling back. They don't pull back.
Yeah. Okay, true. But are you going to try to tell me that there's not men who simply stay just to see if one day they can clap them cheeks, but they are no longer interested in being in a relationship with that woman?
Have they already?
Yes or no?
Have they already clapped the cheeks?
No. They haven't clapped the cheeks.
Then they'll stay there forever. They'll stay there forever.
They will stay there forever in hopes that they can clap the cheeks. But that does. But that does not mean if that woman turns around and is like, you know what? I don't know why I want to say Gregory. I guess because somebody in here was named Gregory. But you know what, Gregory? I'm going to give you a chance. It's been about 10 years. I done went through all these other dudes. But you know what? You're nice. Yeah, you're attractive enough. I'm going to give you a chance. I guarantee you Gregory is going to be like, yeah, baby, sure. Clap them cheeks. And then Gregory's gone.
Yup.
Okay, then.
But that's because you ain't earned a relationship. That's not because he didn't want a relationship. If you let him clap them cheeks and you were irreplaceable, guess what? That nigga ain't going nowhere. But because you just let him clap the cheeks because he waited in line for who knows how long, that nigga ain't gone.
Irreplaceable is subjective, but I get what you're saying. What I don't know how we got here, but second chances, ladies and gentlemen. I think the consensus was we probably shouldn't do it. If it didn't work the first time, it's probably not going to work the second time. But hey, if you are trying to do a second chance, I wish you nothing but the best. I really hope that every single one of you ends up in a happy relationship if that is what you choose. And yeah, blessings from Life of G podcast. That's all. JR, you got anything to say to the people?
You already know I got something to say to the people. I love all the people out there. You know what I'm saying? I'll fuck with y'all real tough though. Look, you got to understand something, man. Y'all have a value. You have a worth. You understand that? And you also have a burdens of performance as a man. All right. You have to accomplish X, Y, and Z to be able to get the benefits of women. That is what comes down to. If you did nothing to obtain women and you have women, I promise you it is just your turn. I promise you it is just seasonal. At the end of the day, you as a man, your value comes from the world. You have to do something that is valuable to the world, gain status, gain finances, whatever it may be. But the world must benefit from your value, from whatever it is that you're providing. That's how you're valued. And women are a byproduct. And by women being a byproduct, you can respect what you are going to grow as a family because that's what you want. I would presume or hope that is what you want. And by doing such, you must take care of them. But do not give it to any woman for free because guess what? You didn't get it for free neither. If that woman trying to open legs, it's a good chance that you had to have job. You had to have money. You had to have all kinds. I talked to a woman recently, very respectful woman. And she says she wouldn't even give me a chance if I lived in my car. After knowing who I am, I feel like I'm a very, very good person. But if I just so happen to live in my car for a week, she wouldn't even give me a chance. And that's okay. That's okay. But what I'm going to say to you as men is that you have to do better. And then a byproduct of you doing better will be women. And then you can pick out of them because women want that fairy tale ending. They want that good man. They want you to be a good man. Experience life, become a good man. And if she can't appreciate you, don't spin the block, my boy. Do not spin the block. Go out there, find you a woman that's going to appreciate you. And to you women, if that man is not living up to the potential that you set for them, do not complain about it. Do not complain about it. Go through your options again and try to find another good man and then do that. Now your route is going to be a little different, but I would rather you be safe than sorry. You know what I'm saying? Go find a man that you can respect and then earn the relationship from him. And then after that, both of y'all can appreciate the relationship and y'all combination of the two. That's all I got for the people. I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't going to do nothing crazy. You feel me?
I actually agree with some of the shit that came out of his mouth, which is crazy. Hey, stick around for the after show on TikTok. JR doesn't know this, but we're going to be reacting to the Kai Cenat, Kevin Hart Cypher thing because that's going around and I want to react to it. I want to see all of them because they're pretty dope. So if you guys haven't seen it or if you have, come check it out with us at the TikTok live tonight, right after this. And also Thursday is going to be my birthday special podcast, Girls Night, Girls Sleep. It's going to be ladies, nothing but ladies in here. Fellas, I do expect y'all to still show up. It's Jammers Night. Ladies, I expect y'all to show up as well in full effect. So be sure to tune in Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern time for our birthday special. I'm going to be 31, motherfuckers. Yeah. If anybody tells you that you can't, yes, the fuck you can. Besos, blessings, and we'll see you on the TikTok.